The Rocket, Rod Laver, the only man to win 2 Grand Slams. He's only 5'8", but he's got the arm of a heavyweight boxer, and he uses it to hit bullet, topspin ground strokes.
And Butch Waltz, who has a 140-mile-per-hour serve. But Rod Laver says that Waltz is one of the world's most underrated players, and he'll be doggone delighted if he can knock off the big guy tonight.
You'll be seeing these and other stars on tonight's World Team Tennis action. San Diego Sports Arena. It's the Phoenix Racquets against the San Diego Friars. Hello and welcome to World Team Tennis action again. I'm Julie Heldman, and with me again is that little adorable munchkin, Vic Braden. And Vic, what can we look forward to tonight?
2 giant singles matches, but a good team match all the way. Rod Laver playing Butch Waltz. Remember, Butch Waltz beat Eli Nastasian in Los Angeles. That is big. Beat him in his hometown. Then also Sue Barker, who had that big Wimbledon win over Pam Shriver, is going to play Carrie Reed. Carrie Reed, who lost to Chrissy Everett in a 9-point tiebreaker right here in San Diego. That's big, but it'll go down to the final doubles match, I think, women's doubles. And that'll decide it. I think the 2 teams are very even.
Very even, and yet there's a big difference in the standings.
Yeah, from first to last, there's a pretty big difference, 10 matches, but I don't think that's insurmountable. I really think there's so much talent in World Team Tennis that every match is close.
As you probably know, tonight's World Team Tennis action is on videotape. That's so we can show you the very best here on Home Box Office. In the first set of the night, Mona Garant and Ross Case of San Diego totally outclassed Sid Ball and a slightly rusty-looking Kristen Shaw. They won 6-1, so at the end of the first set, the match score was 6-1 for San Diego. In the second set of the night, Carrie Reed of San Diego, the recent Wimbledon women's doubles winner, was up against Sue Barker of Phoenix. Sue Barker on the far court, about to serve to Carrie Reed.
Ready?
Barker
Play.
not even in the top 10 at the moment in the standings. Reed 6th in World Team Tennis. Carrie, the fittest I've ever seen her throughout her career, and I really ought to know because we were rivals for years. She's thin, she's fit, she's eager, she's out here practicing every morning for a couple hours. And she just won Wimbledon. She won the Wimbledon women's doubles with Wendy Turnbull. Big miss from Sue Barker. They were trying a little sharp cross-court rally there.
Another thing, Julie, I heard you saying something about how many games Carrie Reed has won.
She has won the most games of any woman ever in World Team Tennis in women's singles.
That came as a surprise to me. There's some pretty big names in World Team Tennis.
Yeah, I think part of it is that she's always been on teams where she's had the sole singles role. It's a longevity record.
Well, you say she's light. Come on, tell me how light she is.
I do not have... Do you think a woman would always tell her exact poundage? Carrie there, hitting her favorite shot, a forehand inside out. She hits a side spin forehand. She's one of the few who does in women's tennis. That's a sorry. They're usually reserved for Virginia Wade. She throws the ball up as a sorry.
Two, three.
Sue Barker, 2-3. If she doesn't do something pretty exciting here, her team is going to be in terrible trouble.
Game, San Diego.
And that wasn't too exciting, Vic Braden.
All depends on where you live.
San Diego crowd seems to eat it up. Carrie Reed serving on the near court as Sue Barker tells the photographers to sit down. When you're not hitting the ball well, you don't want the photographers to take too many pictures. And Carrie Reed is really hitting the ball well. One of the main things she's worked on this year is her serve.
1-0.
In the past, she sort of armed the serve. Has she changed it, Vic?
Yeah, I think she's getting much more body into it. She twists that torso, and that trunk is the name of the game. We've talked about it so many times. First from a power supply, the trunk. Second, the forearm. And third, the wrist.
She seems looser in her whole arm movement, too, than she used to
2-0.
be. She used to seem to stiff arm it more.
She even speaks nicely to her husband.
If you were serving that well. Nice backhand. Barker keeping the ball to Reed's backhand, and then a winner down the line to the forehand. Backcourt rallies here.
2-1.
Sue Barker does not like to make too many appearances at the net.
She pulled her so far on the court, she needed a cab for that one. You notice she pulls always to the backhand, to the backhand, to the backhand, because Carrie's weak on the backhands, weaker on the backhand side.
Yeah, you wouldn't say she was weak.
No, but she's defensive. She's not offensive with it. But I've never seen so many deep balls in one match this early in my life in World Team Tennis. They had some very deep shots.
It's hardly been a short one, you're right. Barker looking over at the bench there.
3-1.
Loved one. Barker looking over at the bench there.
3-1.
At her loved one. And her teammates. Sid Ball, of course, her fiancé. Carrie Reed, 3 points to 1.
Well, there may be two losers engaged to each other tonight, the way they're going. It's two losers in a match, that is.
Right, well, we wouldn't. Nope,
Out.
she missed.
Game San Diego.
And Sue Barker is flailing away, but they're not really finding the court yet. Barker gonna try it again, serving from the far court. Carrie Reed on the near court. In the first set, there was some mixed up troubles, otherwise known as mixed doubles, in which Garant and Case beat Shaw and Ball. San Diego murdered Phoenix 6-1.
But in this match, there have been some fine points, but eventually an error.
Almost always from Barker's side.
That's right.
Double fault.
Barker in the past has had a lot of
0-1.
problems with her toss on her serve. She screws the toss around in circles up there.
Fault.
She holds two tennis balls to start with. Not too many of the players like to do that anymore. They like to start with one.
Net. Second serve.
Plus so many two-handers who have that second hand, so they have to hold only one.
Right.
If I were her, I think I'd try to hold only one. Wow.
Carrie Reed keeping the ball very nice and solid and deep.
0-2.
You're right, Julie. She's tuned in. She's feeling very good. She feels strong off of both sides.
Mm-hmm. When Carrie Reed first came out of Australia as Carrie
1-2.
Melville, she had a big forehand. Her backhand wasn't so spectacular. And in the late 60s, she developed a backhand she could come over the ball. Early parts of the Virginia Slims tour would vary which was better, her forehand or her backhand. That's a shot she's trying to add to her game. She's always had that sliding inside-out forehand. Now she's trying to add some topspin.
Smart when she's running wide laterally to be able to go back cross-court on that shot. Right.
Out.
Barker, unconfident
2,
shot there.
3.
Tried to overhit a ball where she really had an open court.
Right. There's no reason to have to slug that ball and pull it that hard. She had her opponent so far out of court. But again, all tennis is an air reduction game. If you can reduce your airs, you're probably going to end up being famous by next week.
3 all.
3 points all, sudden death. Reed's going to take it from the left court. She gets a forehand. She's going to be able to go inside out with it. Reed on the way in. Missed by an inch.
Phoenix.
Before tonight's match, I talked to Carrie Reed. Let's take a look at that interview now. Carrie Reed, you have played Wimbledon 13 times and you won a title. What does it feel like?
It feels great. I think I'm only just starting to come off the cloud now. Imagine if I won the singles, how excited I'd be, because Wendy and I were just so excited and really happy. You know, for me to try all these years, it certainly was great to finally have a title under my belt.
And what did it feel like when you were match point down in the finals?
I didn't even feel anything. We were down 2 match points, actually, and Wendy played a really great point on one of them, did a really good interception, and I can't remember the other one. But when we won the set, I was, pretty relieved. I thought we had a great chance to win then.
Carrie Reed, you were playing world team tennis with your husband, Raz. Is that a little bit different than just going out and hitting the ball mostly, to have your husband on the bench telling you whether you did right or wrong?
He doesn't really tell me too much on the bench. Rod Laver and Larry Willens do mainly. I think it's better that way. Let's just leave it at that. We can talk about things later.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Carrie Reed, serving really quite well against Sue Barker. Very deep serve, right into the body.
And
1-0.
Julie, Sue had said because of her Wimbledon win and her comeback against Pam Stryver, she felt like she could beat almost anyone and she could come back at any stage of the game. Well, right now, she's really being put to the test on that theory.
Well, that seemed to be the one thing that she lost last year. Done really well in the beginning of the year in 1977 in Virginia Slims, and then all of a sudden the will to fight back seemed to just drain out of her. Not bending her knees enough.
Boy, she dropped that racket head a ton, and the ball just rolled up to the net. It's great for bowling, but not too hot.
You dropped your racket head in bowling?
I don't know, but you dropped that arm.
Oh, was that a good point?
San Diego.
Carrie Reed taking advantage of Sue Barker's errors and bounding to the net.
They're going to have a very pleasant dinner tonight, I think, she and her husband. She is playing very well and in control.
Sue Barker on the near court. Serving to Carrie Reed, who is hitting the ball a ton. A lot of reasons maybe why Barker lost her desire to fight back.
Ooh.
Out.
Reed got in quickly.
She made a very nice play.
1-0.
And then I was quite surprised because Sue Barker hit right back to her instead of making her stretch for the big one. She had her on the rope. She could have played almost any shot. Nice easy lob, cross-court passing shot. But when you're down, you're not playing well. You start second-guessing yourself. And you start making crazier plays. Stick with the pattern.
Ooh, big miss.
1-all.
Barker backing off the ball a little bit. Very basic error. Step forward into it. That's what you're supposed to do. That was a tough toss there. Ooh, good approach.
2-1.
First appearance at the net tonight by Sue Barker.
As Carey has controlled the play all the way from the baseline. She's moved Sue any way she's wanted to. Off serve much better than Sue.
2-all.
I think she's looking for the smelling salts.
Wake me up.
Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire.
That reminds me of something we're going to see on home box office soon. Some wonderful old rock and roll coming up.
Uh-oh.
3-2.
3 points to 2. Barker with another shot to get her team on the scoreboard. Those tosses are really bad, Vic. Good get. Oh, a fine smash.
Game.
Sue Barker
finished.
being run all over the court, finally putting the smash away.
Now serving, Carey Reed.
Carey Reed in the far court. They call her Tup for tuppence. That was what they said she was worth when she was a little kid, 2 pennies. Corner to corner baseline rally.
0-1.
And she's so good because Carey is favoring the backhand. She knows she has to get over there, and when Sue can make the backhand down the line, Carey's usually leaning in the opposite direction. She has a very nice down the line backhand shot, Sue Barker.
Yes, she does. She grew up playing against a lot of boys who are left-handers. Ooh. Seeing some better stuff from Sue. She got a little lower there.
0-2.
Barker grew up playing indoors in Torquay in the southwest of England. And on fast indoor courts, playing against a lot of lefties, she ended up hitting that backhand down the line a lot. 0-2.
Well, you never know what's going to change the tempo of a match, so you have to keep your composure. Just hope that the other person will start acting like a human and make some mistakes.
Carey looked human there.
0-3.
And a good chance for Sue Barker to break. San Diego crowd is cheering on their own Carey Reed. Interesting on a break point. Carey went for the forehand. Served the forehand. First one, second ball into the backhand. And a great return from Sue Barker right down the line.
Set score, Phoenix 3, San Diego 3.
Big break on August the 13th starting then. We're going to have a lot of wonderful gymnastics. Talking about great play from Barker there, we have some electrifying exhibitions from Kurt Thomas in the gymnastics show we'll have then.
Yeah, he's the identified flying object. He really does some special things high in the air.
He is certainly wonderful, and be able to see him starting Sunday, August the 13th, American Cup Gymnastics Exhibition.
15 seconds.
Returning to the court.
Sue Barker going to serve again here. She was down 3-1 against Carey Reed. She's caught up.
Maybe she is right about Wimbledon. It's a big lift for her.
It's true that earlier in the season, had she been down 3-1, she would have dropped her chin even further and not tried as hard, and she's still going for it out here. But maybe going for it still sometimes too much. One of the criticisms that the other players have about Sue Barker is that she hits at one pace, full out. Doesn't have enough change of pace, change of style.
I'm still concerned about that lady who received a cake and down in front of us, and then all of a sudden the children were smiling and giving her the cake, and then they came up and asked for some money. So I think they gave their mom a cake and then charged her for it.
2-1.
Poor mothers.
That's what it's called, bringing up children.
I don't know if that's true, but that's just what it looked like.
Look what's happening here, Vic Braden.
3-1.
Tide is turning on the court. Sue Barker up 3-1 now off of a few human Carrie Reed errors. On the bench, Larry Willens, the assistant coach, charting every error and good shot from Carrie Reed. Ooh,
Great
good get.
play, great
Oh, even better backhand. Sue Barker has come alive.
But Julie, that's why Carrie needs to work on that shot, because when you're running wide laterally, you should go back on the diagonal with that shot, get a longer ball, more time to get back into the court. And she didn't. She played the play down the line in trouble.
She used it there, Vic.
Right. Tried it there.
And the second one in the bottom of the net shows
0-1.
what shot she is not confident on.
But you know, we talk about these people sometimes as though they're just beginners. You know, you find yourself saying, geez, too bad she's not playing well. We'd all love, I mean, you played that well, Julie, but the rest of us would love to play that well.
Out.
Oh, they're anything but beginners.
0-2.
It's true. When they make an error, it's an error of usually of inches, but more often it's an error of confidence. Carrie Reed now draining away in her confidence. Started off so well this set.
But she's only just a Wimbledon doubles winner.
1-2.
You know, that's not bad. That's what's so great about World Team Tennis. The next matchup, you'll see another great Wimbledon player, and then the next one, and another one, and all great champs.
1-3.
Carrie Reed down 1 point to 3. And from being 3 games to 1 up, she's nearly 5 games to 3 down in the singles. And the main difference has been Sue Barker coming alive instead of making errors on those ground strokes. They're all going in.
Yeah, she's pounding the ball, but if I were Carrie Reed right now, I'd try to throw the ball back higher.
Sue Barker about to serve against Carrie Reed. Vic Braden, what would you do if you were Carrie Reed?
I'd throw the ball higher and keep it deeper. Sue is loving that pace Carrie's hitting. She's taking it and just nailing it. So I think that Carrie should take some pace off the ball, make it bounce higher, and make Sue hit from a different elevation. At least change a losing style of play right now.
Really? Said she's hitting just as hard. And Sue is feeding off of you. So right. If you were Carrie, would you come into net, though?
I'd try anything. I wouldn't let her get a run on me like that, because just as you start to solve it, you're shaking hands and coming in second in a field of 2. You got to make that change pretty quick.
There was a bit of a change-up. Not so much pace off it, but a little bit. And instantly, as you said, it brought on an error. 1 point all. Pace again.
One, two.
Crowd enthusiastically behind Carrie Reed. That new shot is failing Carrie Reed in the second half of the set, that coming over the forehand cross court.
Yes, and also she's a little bit disappointed in herself right now. But why wouldn't she try to throw one up in the air and make Sue hit an overhead? She's missed one overhead.
Yeah.
Nice play by Carrie.
Yeah, she at least broke the rhythm up in that point. It's interesting, I have seen Carrie Reed in team tennis play very mixed-up ball, junk ball tennis, and it's worked, and it's amazing she's not trying it here now. Oh! When you're hot, you're 3 points all. Set point for Sue Barker. Break point for Carrie Reed. Is this a biggie? And Barker missed. So they're going to change sides now with Barker leading 5-4.
The Friars 10 and the Racquets 6.
Mona Garant there on the bench. Mona's trying to loosen her up, I think, a little bit, trying to giggle her along. But at this stage, there she goes.
Boy, that helps sometimes, too. Just a little fun thing from your pals and a little bit of confidence to loosen you up, because that's all it takes. When your bicep gets tight or your arm gets tight, it has a tendency to pull your racket across your body and doesn't give you the depth or the elevation you seek. So, but she still looks a little tight to me, like I think I just sneaked through on that last one.
Carrie Reed trying to serve to bring herself back to even Steven. Up 3-1 in this set, down 5-3. So Sue Barker's doing some kind of a job for her team, who went into this set 5 games down.
Ball.
Down 6-1 after the mixed doubles. There's a mix-up stuff. Play from Carrie Reed. I think somebody talked to her on the bench there.
1-0.
You are
nice
so
smile.
right. They said, don't let her stand there like a statue and just pound that ball with one particular rhythm. Uh-oh.
Oop. Carrie, strangely enough, seems to have lost a bit of the feel on her forehand. That happens on and off with her. Her forehand is definitely her power shot, but sometimes the backhand becomes better. It gets so grooved, everybody hits to it.
I think that could hurt her a little bit, her concentration, missing her best shot right there, especially overhitting, standing way behind the baseline. Wasn't a smart play at that point. I think she knows that.
Carrie trying to take something off of it, but she's basically hitting up to Barker there. Lovely drop shot from Sue Barker. Reed walking up to the net, measuring the net. You can't hit that ball over there.
She may be right, too. She's right, I think. Take a look. However, if she is accurate, then the point will stand as played until the correction's been made.
There they're showing you. It's at just a little bit high. The ref, Mike Hensey's out there. So this is... That's great. Maria Bueno used to do that, Vic. Every time she missed, she'd say, measure the net.
Yeah, but I think she's had a little feeling for that a good while, Julie, but it's not the right time to be talking about it. But maybe she's trying to stall for a little time and break the rhythm. But she was right. She was accurate, and she has every right to ask for that net check.
Sure does.
Good eyes. Now, if she just had a forehand cross court to match it. Ooh, close play. Look at the depth.
Oh, that's incredible play from Barker. Forehands all over the court.
1-3. 2-3, 4 inches from the back line, from the baseline. That is super tennis.
Set point for Barker.
Ball.
She was coming in. Good for Carrie Reed. That's gutsy.
Gutsy play. She hasn't served and volleyed yet, has
But
she?
look where she's standing to throw her second serve in.
She didn't hear the let.
She's serving from the right side, and I think she's forgotten that she was serving from the right.
Coming in again. Can you believe that? Set point down twice. That's really gutsy play.
2-3.
Real Australian style. Go for the lines and get yourself up to net.
If Carrie wins this, I'm going to stand up and cheer for her.
She's going to come in now? Nope. She missed it.
Out, game, and set.
And it's set to Sue Barker.
Super play, but unfortunately just too many errors in a row for before Kerry reached. He started hot but couldn't keep the pace.
And the Racquets 7.
Sue Barker, what an unbelievable comeback. You said that Wimbledon gave you the big feeling that you can come back any time. Was that kind of reminiscent of Wimbledon?
Yeah, it was a little bit, but I also plan to do that a bit against Kerry because we have very long rallies, and in the first few games I try and really wear her down because I've been working a lot at my fitness, and I feel that I can last longer than most of the girls, and especially in a warm arena like this, I feel that if I can get her tired, then she's going to make a few errors. It followed that pattern of matches has been the last few that we played, with her getting an early lead.
But you were making an awful lot of errors to start with and couldn't get up, and we didn't think you were going to come back on that one. What made you think you could come back?
Well, I wasn't making very many returns. That was what was my downfall in the first few games, and usually that's my forte, and I know that I'm not going to miss the returns for the whole set, so it was just a matter of when I would start, getting the feel of it and making her play a lot more balls.
Well, that's a Sue Barker, and she's going to be heard around the world because as the comeback queen in tennis, Sue Barker.
The men's doubles was the third set of the night, and in it was the story of the little guys against the big guys. Ross Case and Rod Laver of San Diego are both under 5'9", and they were battling against big Sid Ball and even bigger Butch Waltz. Let's join Waltz serving at 2-3 with San Diego leading 13-9. And now, thank heavens, Butch Waltz is going to serve away from where we're sitting. Really does make me a little nervous to sit behind that 140-mile-an-hour bomb. Just got somebody else in the head. Fortunately, it wasn't the 140-miler. For all of that,
0-1.
how wonderful Waltz's serve is, though, he has improved enormously in the last couple of years and all the rest of his game. He's talking today about how he's adding a topspin flick backhand.
Ooh, look at that speed. I don't believe that.
1-all.
And to show you how much Case and Laver believe it, they're standing in the back of the court. Oh,
They're cheering the snake just because he returned it.
well, he also just went out for it. You got power for power.
How'd you like to be the partner with your back turned to the server? You may be wearing that ball for the rest of your life. It'll be hard to wear a tie.
Case made the appropriate move. He fell down and got out of the way.
It's the old under the carpet trick.
He was pretending he was the glue.
It's like the dogs when they go feed up. How can you hurt a guy who's on his back?
Got it back. Fine forehand from Waltz. It's easy when you get one that short. Butch Waltz, 6'4", I believe. A lot of muscle in that body. On every shot, and he elects to take it at sudden death.
God, I wouldn't take it, man. If I were the captain, I'd say yours, Snake. I wouldn't want to return it. He doesn't care. Look at him. He's faced so many serves, he can hardly believe it. He got it.
Oh, great play! For the Friars with Rod Laver's magnificent play there. Before tonight's match, Vic Braden talked to Rod Laver. Let's take a look at that interview now.
The tennis world has been wanting to find out what the heck Rod Laver wears on his left arm when he's warming up. Rocket, what is it?
Oh, well, put a ice pack on after I play. I use a sleeve that I put on when I warm up, and it's purely protection. I find that it really helps a great deal to either keep the inflammation out or it keeps the circulation of the blood flowing smoothly if I ice it down after the match. And of course, I've got time now to ice it down, and now I'll be ready for the match tonight.
Okay, Rocket, I've got something I wanted to ask you for a long time. If a 7-footer had your ability and Bjorn Borg's ability and had your shots, would the 7-footer be an automatic lock in this game because it's coming?
I would have to think yes, but then again, you have to look at the other element of having to get down for the ball. There's only one way to play the game, and I think that is being down, and I think someone like Jimmy Connings exaggerates how he gets down to a ball, and that's where you have to be. Otherwise, you make errors if you just drop the racket head and swish away, and if you're 7 foot tall and you don't get down. But can a set of knees, look after a 7-footer?
Rocket, you once said that there's not that much strategy to the game. If you hit your shots, you're going to win. Nearly everybody knows where the ball's going, but there are a lot of books written about strategy. So is strategy really a myth?
No, not really. I think strategy is something that a lot of people overemphasize. They may feel they lost because they didn't have the right strategy, but you have to play the right points. If you can get the ball to wherever you want it to be every time, fine. But sometimes you mix yourself up with too much finesse and where I should be hitting it and how fast I should be hitting it, and one fast, one slow. You make more mistakes yourself. So I find that my own game has been revolved around more topspin and speeds of the ball dipping and higher bounces, and the element of surprise rather than saying strategy.
Okay, now you're starting to chip up strategy a little bit. Then why are you playing mixed or men's doubles tonight before men's singles?
Well, that's to warm my body up. No, I think the little bit of an exception because Butch Waltz has got a really fast serve, and he's able to take advantage of my not being able to start up quick enough. I think I'm a little bit slower starter sometimes. Although team tennis has been good for me, I've started up fairly quickly, but I think that with a little bit of doubles play beforehand, that'll get me right for the singles, and plus I can rely on Ross Case.
2-time Grand Slam winner, the Rocket Rod Laver.
Ross Case near us. He's going to serve to Butch Waltz. And a nice serve it was, too.
1-0.
Case and Laver at the moment are running number 5 in the league in men's doubles.
Shows you how tough the league is.
Net.
They have bounced back and forth. They've been 3 in the league, 2. They've always been one of the top ones. Mayer and McMillan are at the very top playing for the Gators. We'll be seeing them next week.
Julie, what Rod did so well in that last game was he hit the ball right at the right hip of Sid Ball. Makes it very difficult to hit a ball. If you're left-handed, you hit at their left hip.
Oh, that Rocket Rod Laver, he's going to be tough in the singles tonight.
He's only signed for 3 more years. When the kid signs a contract for 3 more years, he's playing loose.
Game San Diego.
Loose Laver and Speedy Case are eating him up alive. Sid Ball doing his best to try and keep his team in there. They're down 15-9 now. Friars loving playing on their home court.
1-0.
That's the first really loose error I've seen off of Ross Case.
That's right. You don't see too many. That's why he has a house full of doubles trophies with about 50 different partners.
Net.
Fault. One all.
Ross Case in perpetual motion. Didn't stand so still there. He zipped across like a roadrunner. Great dipping return.
1-2.
Ball nearly chickened that one. He had a chance to put the first one away.
2-all.
Didn't really slug it. Ball.
Two, three.
That topspin of Ross Case's confusing first Sid Ball a couple of points ago, and then Butch Waltz. Now it's break point, set point for San Diego.
Three, all.
Laver doing the right thing, moving in on the last ball. Thought he might have been just a fraction late moving toward it. Now it's still set point, but it's also game point for Phoenix.
Out, game,
And Laver a little late again, Vic Braden.
Yes, but that's what makes him so great, though, Julie. He still hits the shot he has to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was late, you're right, and so the ball is wide. But most people would be choking at that point, but Rod is still hitting out. That's why he's won so many big matches. He's been in so many tiebreakers.
Rod Laver needs this game to win the set.
1-0.
Those don't look like nearly 40-year-old legs.
You're looking at those legs, Julie.
Naturally, they're men out there. Rod Laver has a lot of business commitments these days. Still keeps himself nice and fit. Didn't play Wimbledon this year. And another routine service game for the great champion. 3-0. Set point. Point to give his team a 6-game lead going into the fourth set. That's some kind of cushion for him when he plays the men's singles.
Game, set, San Diego.
Ross Case and Rod Laver winning the set to give their team a 6-game lead.
Ross, why are you such a good doubles player? You win with nearly everybody.
Well, I think, Vic, doubles is a game of you have to have very quick reflexes and you must volley well. And these are probably my two greatest assets. So I enjoy playing doubles, and you've got to think a lot in doubles. You've got to combine well with your partner, and I guess most of these things attribute to me being a good doubles player.
Okay, why do they call you the Snake?
Because of my speed. I think Dick Creeley, another Australian gentleman, gave me that name a few years ago. I was a bit lucky, and he said, you snaked out of a few things, and ever since then, that's been it.
All right, Butch Waltz hit a 140-mile-an-hour serve at you near the end, and you just laid in and decked it back. Did you have that in the back of your mind from the minute he hit that ball?
Well, the serve before, the point before, he'd gone wide to my forehand, and I just thought, well, I think he may go to the backhand, and if he goes there, I'm going to give it a whack. And it went there, and luckily off my racket went onto it, and it was a good feeling.
It always is a good feeling for Ross Case, and if you like doubles, don't miss him wherever he plays, because you're going to learn a ton.
The home team gets to serve first in the doubles. The away team gets to serve first in the singles. That means Butch Waltz of Phoenix will be serving first against Rocket Rod Laver. And watch out for the cannonball from the beginning. Nope, he didn't do it. fooled us.
1-0.
But he threw a nice slider, and that's a smart play because Rocco's leaning in, and he actually spread him wide. Very smart play.
Two-zero.
Most of the time this year, that is, I believe, twice, Racquet has handled Waltz's case. Last time they played, Racquet wasn't at his best, and Waltz snuck through. Another ace for Butch Waltz, his third of the night.
3-0.
And remember, the reason Rod Laver said he likes to play the doubles first against Waltz is to get used to the serve.
Fault.
Wow.
But Waltz being very clever, he's mixing up his serve early on here.
Game, Phoenix.
And he got in quickly to put away that volley, Vic Braden.
And with some fine flexibility, too. Hard serves, slider serves.
Rod Laver for his first service game in the men's singles. And Vic Laver serves well enough that he's got Waltz
1-0.
standing 2 or 3 feet behind the baseline, the back of the other side.
Well, that topspin forehand that he just hit was something to it. Dipped like that famous racket that Eli Nastasi uses. He gets the same kind of topspin. That's amazing.
1-all.
I wonder if Nastasi's going to use that racket in the second half of the season. We'll certainly see next week. Didn't use it at Wimbledon.
He did not, and I did not know that.
No, he did not use it. He said when he first started using that sort of spaghetti-strung racket, but not quite spaghetti-strung racket, he wouldn't use it at Wimbledon. Laver coming in there on a soft, low slider.
Can hit a fine approach shot, though. But I would say with a conventionally strung racket, Laver can topspin the ball better than anyone I've ever seen. I mean, especially from a far distance. Borg has such fine passing shots with it, but Rod still is the master of it, I think. Can actually hit harder, especially off the backhand side.
Obviously, there'll always be an argument, the great champion of the past and the champion of the present. But it's hard to hit any harder than what Borg's doing right now off of his forehand. Why'd Laver stay back on that one, Vic?
3-2.
And it got costly, too. He stayed back and then got trapped at his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Good serve.
Good return.
Game, San Diego.
Butch Waltz going for a little bit extra oomph, and when you go for extra oomph on the topspin, sometimes you come over the top too much and into the net. The big bomber, Butch Waltz, right across from us, 6'4". Blowing smoke. Lovely return.
I think he would have had that, too.
0-1.
Julie, he was in position for it. And I think he would have won the point anyway because Butch would have been too far out of court, and I think Racquet would have had it. He's moving.
Beautiful anticipation there, too, because you saw that he got the ball behind Waltz. The only place Waltz could have hit it was cross court. Anticipated that one.
Out.
Did Butch Waltz decapitate a spectator after that first
Well,
serve?
there are some people over there looking, but I think the person's
Looking for an
all right.
ambulance.
No, I think only one person got the fuzz sandwich.
The fuzz sandwich. Between the teeth, you mean?
Right. Good return.
Yeah, people forget about Laver having that one. I remember Arthur Ashe said that when Laver hits the dipping one, and he hits it well, and then he hits the next lob just out of reach of you, you know he's hitting the ball well, because he can always crack his groundies. Ooh, is he hitting it well.
1-3.
Sal Laver really had an edge over Asho those years. He made him stretch. 1 point to 3. Who got lucky there?
A little garbage, although
2, 3.
he had a nice high volley and he was in very far. I'm surprised. If you'll watch Butch Waltz after he serves, he gets very far into the court for his volley. I'm surprised how fast he is for a big man.
Mm-hmm.
Three all.
The linesman says, go ahead, serve it. Didn't see a thing.
Game Phoenix.
Well, he pounded that one. He's really moving. So Butch Waltz got his serve back in there, and he is going.
Butch Waltz, 2, Rod Laver 1.
I think when Butch feels that he's in control of that serve, he knows that he's got the chance, because the Rocket is going to try and get the ball back, so get the serve back, keep it in play, wait for the opening, and then I'll play him with the top spin and underspin, all the spins.
So Butch has to blow him away.
Yeah, Butch is going to have to blow him away with the serve. Fine player, but again, it's a serve. Here goes the serve. You're going to get a chance to take a look at it now. Bingo. Now watch. Rod Laver hardly got a chance to get his racket back. And you can believe it, that was in slow motion.
Waltz serving. Now, how fast do the fastest pitchers pitch?
Well, they're in the 80s miles per hour, and most serves, especially second serves, relate very closely to a pitch in baseball. But 130-mile-an-hour serve is very similar because the distances are a little different, and so a little longer in tennis. So it's very similar to the best server against the best pitcher.
Rocket Rod Laver. Serving from the opposite court to Butch Waltz.
Fault.
Nearly served an ace. The little guy against the big guy. The little guy has one big arm. Good lob.
Out. One, 0. Out. 2-0.
Rod Laver, 5th in men's singles. In team tennis, just over 500. Butch Waltz just under 500, 9th in the league.
But that's the story of the league. Very few people are in a 600% set. 100%. Near the league is so tough.
Martini's the only one.
That's right. To stay around that 500 mark, you've got to be some special player. Ooh, he had Butch going the wrong way.
Had him fooled.
Look out.
Looked like he tripped there, Vic.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't seem on balance at all. But basically, if the ball gets in play, Rod is the favorite if they're playing baseline to baseline. But Butch has got to be able to cut that point off after about the third hit. But I'm really surprised. Butch has improved his game tremendously off the ground.
And this court, of course, is to Butch's advantage because his serve will skid away so fast.
Three, 1.
Like Kerry Reed, whom we watched earlier tonight, Butch was then trying a new shot, his backhand topspin, and it didn't come off.
But it's hard to do that. He let the ball play him, Julie.
Yeah.
He was sitting back on the back foot, and I noticed that when he misses his ground strokes, the ball is playing him instead of him going to the ball. Now he's going to the ball. And he won the point.
Isn't that what Brian Cheney was saying earlier about Butch Waltz?
Yep, got to go to the ball. But that's hard when you're playing a guy like the Rocket.
Game San Diego.
Rod Laver returning power with power, fighting against the big Butch Waltz. They're 2 games all, quite even on serve. Butch Waltz serving at 2 games all. I got a new spectator in the stands right now. His name is Super Chicken.
1-0.
They love him here, don't they? Yeah.
So do I. He got very nervous when Butch Waltz served. Well, that's 2 in a row for Waltz.
2-0.
Ever since the chicken has arrived, Laver has not set racket on tennis ball.
What?
Oh, blew it clean by him. Very smart serve. Change up.
3-0.
Slider. 3-0.
Wow.
Ball girl got hit back there.
Three, 1.
Butch Waltz has a total of 6 aces so far tonight, 4 in the singles, 2 in a row in this game.
Well, the Rocket was so late on that. He was trying to get into the ball, but it was just too fast. The speed is blinding, really is.
Game Phoenix.
What can you do? Hard serves, pound it. You can hardly get your racket on it. And that was the story of that game. Just pow, pow, pow. Rod trying desperately to stay in.
Rocket Rod Laver serving to stay even from the far court. Laver putting some of that lefty spin on the ball. And a near ace.
1-0.
Well, in truth, he fooled Waltz, but didn't really hit it all that hard enough to get it by him, did he?
I've seen Rod Laver, though. I've seen him throw 3 aces in one game.
That's the new backhand of Butch Waltz. That's the one he's learned. He's been learning it a lot from Sid Ball, who was the original coach on the team early this year. Didn't used to have a topspin backhand so much. There, he practiced it again for us. Thank you, Butch.
Net.
And again.
1-2.
And Rod knew it right away. He said yes as the ball is going by him. But there's a pretty doggone good topspin backhand cross court from Butch Waltz. If he gets that shot down, he's going to be lethal.
Two all.
Well, his dad will be on him for that, Julie, because he softens the wrist, drops the racket hit on the service return, and boy, you can't do that.
2-3.
And Laver in trouble here. He cannot afford to lose his serve against Waltz because Waltz is serving so well. Break point down, double break point here in team tennis. Fine serve. Lefty serve hooked him out of court. So Waltz, not wanting to be hooked again, chooses the right court.
Ball.
Now here's the name of the game. How well do you serve on that second serve when you're in a key game, and how well do you return and that score is close?
Waltz really went around that one. Woo!
Game, Phoenix.
Kristen Shaw and Brian Cheney jumping up off the bench and screaming as Butch Waltz hits a great forehand passing shot.
Boy, leaned into that one, didn't he, Julie?
And both ones, he backed around that forehand. 4 games to 2 here. They change over.
All right, you're going to get a chance to watch Butch Waltz serve again. Now watch carefully. Watch that shoulder rotation. Look at his eyes up. Big body torque, and here it comes. Trunk, forearm, wrist, and an ace.
You know, if that boy could improve the rest of his ground strokes just a little bit more, just bring that back up, he could be in for every endorsement going. He's a good-looking guy. He blows smoke. That guy could be a millionaire quick.
What do you mean? When he blows smoke, he has a big serve.
I was not referring to anything hippie-ish of his nature. No, I was not. You've been living in Southern California a long time, Vic Braden. Tonight's crowd got 4,800 in attendance here. And here we have some smoke.
So right.
1-0.
And we have a lot of special people in the stands tonight, including the family of Vic Braden.
5 kids, that's right. And you're
All
next.
5 here tonight?
You're next, Julie.
2-0.
You're about to get married. You're next.
What are you saying about me, Vic?
I'm just trying to get a good world team tennis team, that's all. All in the same family.
2-0 for Butch Waltz.
Laver
didn't see it. And you said he was afraid of this big guy.
Well, he says he can't read him from this side. The left side is, he can't read the serve.
Game, Phoenix.
2 unreturnables. And Butch Waltz is burying Rod Laver under a 5-2 lead, but it's only 1 service break. Rod Laver from our side here, little redhead from Queensland, Australia, now living in Newport Beach. Serving, try and stay in the set, down 2-5. Good get from Waltz.
Zero, 1.
Put it up in the air just one more time.
So smart, though. At least you have to make the opponent thread the needle. This way, he's got to make the big play. Pros can still miss on the overhead.
1-all.
Second time he did that, Vic Braden.
That's right. You're referring to dropping that racket hit on the service return. He's done it about 20 times in the shots that he's missed. He's played so well except for that little drop. Oh,
wow.
Too bad.
2-1.
Butch Waltz is really, his star has shown in team tennis, but he won a tournament earlier this year. Sorry, the end of last year in San Francisco. Jumping his way up the ranks in men's tennis.
Look at that, baby.
Too low. Waltz down, not out.
3-1.
That chicken really loves it.
Fast move from Waltz, a little short though.
Game, San Diego.
Butch Waltz careening around that court, trying to get the overhead back, but Laver really put it away. Waltz is serving for it. 5-3, he's up.
And now the pressure, Julie, because the Rocket has to return. He has no choice now. He has to throw his very best into this game.
Standing a couple feet behind the baseline. If I were he, I'd be sitting up here where we are. Way behind the court.
Fault.
Oh, yeah!
Don't believe it.
Touch of nostalgia from Rod Laver.
Oh, goodness gracious, that ball went so fast, and Butch had a very nice approach shot. No problem with it at all.
Problem is he hit it within Laver's reach. Twice now, Butch Waltz has missed his first serve.
A little pressure, Julie?
Lot of pressure. High ball.
1-all.
Boy, the edge really goes to Butch, though. He's 1-all, and in a game like this, with his big serve, he's really a 3-1 favorite in a game.
Even at 0-2, he's still a 3-1 favorite.
That's right.
Still that much of a favorite, Vic? Waltz still cleverly mixing up his spins and his speeds. His team is down by 4 at the moment. If he wins this game, they'll be down by 3 with a fighting chance to go into the women's doubles. Really is important for him to get his first serve in here, one way or t'other. Ooh.
Got it back. Oh, could that be big?
Good enough.
Butch Waltz overplayed the sitter. He had everything. He had Rod out of court, up 2 points to 1. And now, if he chokes just a little bit, it could change this match around. Can he stand it? He did.
3-2.
Set point for Butch Waltz. Last time Laver guessed him, he leaned to his left. Guessing match now going on out here, like a good pitcher and a good hitter.
Game and set, Phoenix.
And Butch Waltz served well enough to serve him out, serving all the way through like the big man with a big bomb that he is. He beat Rod Laver 6-3. And now Vic Braden has gone down courtside to talk to Butch Waltz, guy who's made his team come a little bit closer.
That's a big win for you, Butch. You beat the Rocket. How does that make you feel, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. We've had 4 tight ones so far this year. We're 2 even going into this one, and I've been playing pretty well lately after my knee injury. I'm starting to come back a little bit. It kind of hindered me a little bit on my serve and my moving a little bit because I just couldn't do it. It hurt too much. But now I'm starting to play a little better, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, you're throwing it one about 140. It means you hurt your knee. You went down to about 128. Butch, I also watched you beat Ili Nastasi, and it looks to me like you're also improving your ground strokes. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. For some reason, I've always played my best on clay. And I was in California, I never played on clay, but I've done my best in Europe and on the clay court circuit here in the States. I like staying back and hitting my ground strokes. You know, in the juniors, I had a lot of patience, and I'm starting to get that back along with a little consistency on my ground strokes. Also, you seem to me to be a little bit more patient. Is this something you worked on yourself, or you and your pop worked on together? Well, it's been basically me. I used to have a pretty bad temper, and I've tried to control that, and team tennis has helped me. And I just try to concentrate, and tonight Rod hit a few great quick shots, and so I tried to slow down and keep my concentration because he's known for hitting great shots like that. So I just tried to slow it down and concentrate as well as I could. That's the story. Work on your ground strokes and keep patient, and also 140 mile an hour per hour serve doesn't hurt at all. That's Butch Waltz, winner over Rocket Rod Laver, also a former winner over Ili Nastasi in World Team Tennis. He's the man to watch.
Going into the last set of the evening, the women's doubles, San Diego had a 3-game lead over Phoenix, but Mona Garant and Carrie Reed showed that they were a much better doubles team than Sue Barker and Kristen Shaw. Let's join the women's doubles with Shaw serving at 1-4, San Diego leading 23-17. Kristen Shaw, with her team 6 games down in the final set and 2 games away from the loss of the whole match. She's going to serve to see what she can do. Again, a good move every single time, actually, that Mona has gotten a forehand and hitting it cross court. Carrie's come across. I wonder if they have that kind of a bargain.
I think they've really been working on that. They were horsing around with that in the doubles practice before the match tonight. I think they're paying off because they're practicing.
And a good cross for Mona. One thing that the women have learned a lot in team tennis is how often to cross. Before team tennis, before the women played so often with the men and practiced with the men, they didn't cross as much in doubles. Now it's clearly paying off, and you're seeing it with Mona and Carrie over there.
Mona went all the way, you're right, from the single sideline all the way to the center of the green.
Mona hit up on the return.
2-1.
Sue said, I just reached up to keep the ball from going out of San Diego County, and I got a nice volley.
Oh! Bit of a lucky grab from Kristen, but she was in there.
Boy, you could just feel that stomach stretch, right? Everything you've eaten in Greece is on the line on a forehand volley like that.
Doesn't look like she ate too much.
She never looks that way. Beautiful young woman.
Double fault.
Ooh,
3-2.
Beautiful young woman with a double fault.
Doing something a little strange in the beginning, bending her knees and leaning over before she starts serving. Oh. Good save for Mona.
3-all.
3-all point. Carrie Reed's going to take it. San Diego wins this. They'll be 5-1 up. Oh, and a fine smash from Sue Barker. Every single time she'd gone cross court, and that time she slapped it down the line. 4-2 for the Friars.
Friars 23, Racquets 18.
Vic Braden, starting on Sunday, July the 23rd, we got some fun. We got some rockin' and rollin' fun.
That's your kind of stuff. Who do you have?
Jay Black and the Americans. That used to be Jay and the Americans. Little Anthony.
Oh, yeah, I got you. The Coasters, Bobby Rydell, the Angels, and the guy from my era, Jerry Lee Lewis.
It's going to be a rockin' and rollin' night starting Sunday, July the 23rd.
Is the place to go for lease or purchase of a high-performance car.
Carrie Reed, who earlier tonight was leading Sue Barker and then lost her singles, serving to Sue Barker here.
1-0.
Julie, we should remind our viewers that there's only one service break. If Carrie Reed could lose her serve, we'd be right back in a real tough match again.
You're right, we'd be back in the same situation as what happened in the singles. Oh, great smash from Carrie Reed. Angled it out the same way she likes to hit her forehand.
The first time I ever saw her, she had just beaten Billie Jean King as a youngster at Forest Hills.
67.
I think you're right. I was just going to say 66, but I think you're right. I think it was 67, but it may have... I'll have to check it out.
You're doubting my word? I would if I were you. I'm not always 100%.
Ooh.
Game, San Diego.
Carrie Reed wins her serve. 5-2, San Diego leads. Now Sue Barker has to hold on. Her team is down by 6 games. In the women's doubles, they're down 5-2. Obviously, she's up against it.
Zero, one.
Well, when you're dumping the volley close to the net, then I guess you're really up against it. You're going to have to serve aces.
Oh, great return. Oh, even a better volley.
1-all.
Well, I think that Sue Barker and Kristen Shaw were reading the play because they knew that every time a good return was coming, they were going to poach. And so she made a great volley, but she knew what was happening with Mona Garant. That's for sure. They turned around and smiled at each other and said, see?
Vic, while you were talking there, we just missed the second sorry of the night. Sue Barker. Normally, Virginia Wade has more sorries by throwing the ball up in a very sweet English accent, misthrowing the toss and saying, sorry. Well, we've had the second Barker sorry of the night.
Two, one.
I like the other British custom. Some people in Great Britain still serve underhanded, but it's courtesy to call it underhand before you serve it. And some of the old timers will walk up, the 65, 70-year-olds, and go, underhand, underhand.
I've never seen that. Really?
Mark Cox was telling me all about it. It's cute. Wow.
Great shot from Carrie Reed.
2-all.
Forehand down the middle. I got to tell you, Vic, once I played in England and once I served an underhand serve, and they asked me if I wasn't going to give any warning. I thought the guy was right off the wall. The umpire said that. 2 points all here. And barely touched by Mona Garant.
3-2.
Sue Barker might be having trouble with her serve, but in the crisis, she's pulling out a good one or two.
She hit some ground strokes coming back to win that singles match as well as I've seen anyone hit in a long time. Deep balls over and over and over again.
Yeah, what Virginia Wade once said, she doesn't have any right to hit her ground strokes that well. Ooh, Mona just missing.
Phoenix.
First one since leaving Iowa. She doesn't miss too often.
The Marengo Kid, that's what she is. Born in Marengo, Iowa.
Knew it was a funny name, doggone it. The people in Marengo don't think that.
Mona serving at 5-3. That's a tough one.
One, zero.
See, that's how you're different from Iowa. Everybody else, they hold their heart. She put her hand on her stomach.
Ball.
Short. And Mona took care of it.
Julie, if you saw Mona
2-0.
Garant on the street, would you believe that she was a tough competitor? Just looks soft and easy and kind of...
Those wire in those muscles, though. Oh, fine recovery from Carrie Reed. She covered her alley.
3-0.
This is it, guys. Match point and a whole slew of them.
Game,
And
set,
Mona does it with
San Diego.
And Mona served a great serve down the middle for their total dominance of the women's doubles. Mona Garant and Carrie Reed beating Kristen Shaw and Sue Barker to give their team a 25-19 victory over Phoenix. And now down on the floor, Vic Braden is going to talk with some of those winners.
All right, Rod Laver, I want to know one thing. Do you take credit for that great doubles play by your women's team?
No, I don't, Vicky. Mona and Kerry really played some good stuff there. I think they're very eager and I think probably very positive because especially Kerry, when she won the doubles, she feels that she's got good rapport with Mona now, and Mona, of course, is very aggressive. But, that's been the stable pair in our whole World Team Tennis.
Well, in World Team Tennis, they say if you have two good women players, you're almost a cinch to win. Is that accurate? It's starting to look like that.
No, I think if you've got three good doubles teams, though, you'll win. That's what happens, and I think that's what we've got right now is three good doubles teams. And whatever we pick up in singles is almost gravy because, just the same thing happened tonight. Ross and Mona went out in the doubles in the mixed and won. We had a win in the men's doubles, and the last one finished it off. So, whatever we pick up in singles, is what we win by.
Well, Rod, some of the coaches have had a little trouble with another coach, Eli Nastasi, trying to keep them in line. But you were telling me earlier tonight that you have just wonderful people to coach and it's a fun time. Tell me about that. Are you just putting me on, or are really these people this nice?
No, I'm very fortunate. I've got a group of independent players that think that tennis is their life and they enjoy the game, even though there's a few ups and downs. For the majority of the time, that it's the outlook that I appreciate and the fact that they're trying, even if they're playing miserably. I don't care, as long as they're playing full out. And, it's unfortunate that Illy's not putting out as well, and having the responsibility that I think a coach really has to have. Not that I'm doing anything exceptional. I just have a group of players that, like to play well, and they like to think that, or maybe they think I know a little bit about the game, and that rubs off, and, I'm very positive. I think we've got a great team.
Well, that only shows you, folks, nice people can win, too. The Rocket, Rod Laver.
And now you know why San Diego is #1 in the Western Division of team tennis. The reason? They're doubles. Mixed doubles, men's doubles, women's doubles, they're outstanding. Fast hands, they get to the net quick. And Vic Braden, I hate to say it, but you pegged it on the nose for this match.
Well, I have to credit my wife because she's always told me, if you want to be #1 in the world, get yourself a good woman. And Rod Laver just went out and got himself two good women. And when it got down to the wire, they are the ones who won the match.
Well, he also got himself a good man player, too. Besides himself, he got himself Ross Case.
Yeah, well, Ross Case, but you don't notice those. He just snakes in there and gets the job done. But when really comes off with a little sauce, a little sexy win, that's the women's doubles.
All right, I'll take you up on it. It was the women, and the women led San Diego to the victory, and the San Diego won 25-19 over the Phoenix Racquets. Be sure to join HBO next week when we go to Oakland for the match between the Los Angeles Strings with Chris Evert and Ili Nastasi and the Golden Gators with Virginia Wade and Sandy Mayer. Right now, stay tuned for Exorcist II, The Heretic, coming up next on HBO. From the San Diego Sports Arena, this is Julie Heldman with Vic Braden saying good night. This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.